Just about a week ago, let's put this background for those who may not have been following. Just about a week, Governor Nasiru El-Rufai of Kaduna State revealed that the president had ordered Buni to be sacked and replaced by Governor Sani Bello. Allegations of sinister moves to truncate the national convention of the party were also leveled against Governor Buni. Now, today, the president has instructed he should be allowed to lead the party to the same convention. What exactly do you think has happened here? What is happening?
Well, you know, there was a presidency statement 2 days ago which was kind of saying that was not the instruction the president gave, and today we have this letter. Well, it is because the way they tried to change the caretaker convention planning committee was patently illegal. They ran into a legal roadblock because they wrote a letter to INEC, and the INEC wrote back and said, we don't know the acting caretaker chairman, the governor of Niger, and Professor Tahir Mama, who signed the letter. They said the one we know is Governor Mai Malabuni and the secretary, Senator John Akpon-Odwe. So they didn't sign the letter. So there was really a legal stalemate, and that's what the president was referring to in this letter, that they risked having all their activities legally quashed and, in fact, the party imploding. The only thing that surprised me is the president himself was probably wrongly advised to write this letter to the party and say, I am directing as follows, because the party is not an executive organ of the federal government. The president has absolute constitutional power over all executive agencies, but the party is not one of them. It has its own agencies that take decisions. So for him to write and say, restore this to status quo, everybody should stop talking, which is okay, that one as a party leader under the convention. That's my worry, because even that one can cause legal problems. And people will say, is it the president who has the power in the party's constitution to decide these things that he gives directive?
So it's a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now that the president has written this letter, what manner of convention, will the APC have on the 26th of March? What do you think the outcome is likely to be? Because there may be a trust deficit going on already. I mean, like Adesua said, you had El-Rufai, who said 19 of 23 APC governors were in support of removing Buni, while Akeredolu said, well, those in support of Buni are actually Yahoo governors and all of that. You have all of that playing out. Buni has technically 10 days to the convention. What do you think? Well,
the problem is that the problem with the March 26th convention date of APC, which the president said must hold unfailingly, is not just the moral question. It's the legal question. There is still an injunction from a federal high court in the Capital Territory restraining the party from going ahead with preparations for the convention. The court sat today but was unable to discharge the injunction, and they're sitting again on it tomorrow, Thursday. But even apart from that particular
tomorrow's been cancelled. The NEC meeting
not the NEC meeting. I'm talking about the court sitting to discharge the injunction restraining the party from holding the convention. The NEC meeting cannot hold because INEC says it requires, first of all, only Buni and the recognized secretary can sign, and even then they must give 21 days notice. So there is no 21 days notice time now before the convention. The issue is, according to media reports, there are 206 legal cases filed by different state APC state chapters, the ones that held parallel congresses, saying unless it is their own executives that are recognized as the delegates to attend the convention, the court should not allow the convention to go ahead. So the injunction tomorrow may be discharged. Well, I don't know about the other 206. So there is still a high level of uncertainty as to whether APC will be able to hold the convention next week.
All right, let's bring in
Sumner.
Sambo. Sumner, good to see you. Well, technically, Buni has 10 days before the convention of March 26. What are the likely scenarios you see playing out? And would you say that INEC actually saved the APC from itself?
Yes, let me start from your last question, Ngozi. INEC helped APC to ensure that, it stays afloat as long as 2023 general election is concerned, because we were almost seeing the path of Zamfara being repeated again, where the party risked all its elected candidates being swept away. And that would have been very disastrous. That would have been a new one in Nigeria's political history. But I think APC should be thanking INEC for helping to guide it. In all of this, based on your first question that you had asked, what we expect to see is for Buni to also live up to the expectations of President Muhammadu Buhari, because from the content of this letter, it is now clear by President Buhari's own admittance that he actually issued an instruction for Buni and John Akpan-Udode to be swept away by the APC caretaker committee. Now, in all of this, we are seeing a presidency that's playing a very strong role. And that role that the presidency is playing, just like Mahmoud has said, is actually the role that's meant to be played by the National Executive Committee of the party, because apart from the National Convention, the second most powerful decision-making organ of the APC is the National Executive Committee and not the president. So this directive is also being issued by the president, just like Mahmoud has said, risk being challenged in court. And with all this multiplicity of court cases that we have in the states, and with the one that was issued on November 18 yet to be discharged, there's a huge trust deficit between party members and the interim leadership of the party. So it's left to Maimala Buni to see how he can worm his way into the hearts of the aggrieved governors by ensuring that the APC National Convention holds smoothly and that everything that's done is done in line with the books, so that they don't run foul of INEC guidelines or the Electoral Act or even the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Indeed, there seems to be a lot of the president said, the president directed, the president instructed going on in the APC. But I want both of you to react to my next question, starting with you, Sumner. The letter is addressed to the chairman of the Governors Progressives Forum, Governor of Kebbi State. But the second instruction in that letter was direct and specific to the governors and their supporters of the APC. But when you also look at those that were copied in the president's letter, you have the secretary to the government of the Federation, you have the DG of the DSS, you have the Inspector General of Police, and of course the acting chair, Governor Sani Bello of Niger. It looks like a clear message to those who may still have intent to oppose the Buni leadership, isn't it?
Yes, Adesua, we are seeing the APC reenacting the same sort of scenarios that we saw during the leadership of the People's Democratic Party when it was the ruling party in the country. When the president gives an order, especially on party matters, they are to be complied with. And you can see the DSS being asked to get involved. You can see the Inspector General of Police being asked to get involved. In a decent society, we shouldn't have this coercive apparatus of state being involved in political party matters. But because of the nature of the political turbulence that we are seeing in our polity today, the president is being forced to rein in governors of the party who seem to have the resources to cause one challenge or the other.
All right. Thank you very much, Sumner Sambo, and of course, Malam Mahmud Jega joining us on News Night.